She was born and raised in Brazil, and she met her husband, star Matthew McConaughey, in Los Angeles in 2006. Their home is now in Austin, Texas, and they have 3 kids. Let's try to do this without getting divorced, free married, divorced, free married, divorced, free married, divorced, free married. Let's try to do it without going so far. There's no doubt that Matthew McConaughey and Camila are one of the most loved couples in Hollywood. No one saw their breakup coming so quickly. Before he got married, Matthew McConaughey dated some of the most beautiful women in Hollywood. When you look at his past, you can see this.
Yes.
And it's sad that divorce has become something that follows famous couples around, but not with McConaughey and Camila. It seems like this couple falls in love with each other all the time. Or what's just a lie? So no one can see the cracks. What exactly did McConaughey do that made this shocking breakup happen? Watch this video with us as we tell this scary story. The marriage of Matthew McConaughey ends quickly in divorce. McConaughey and Camila's relationship seems to be rock solid after more than 10 years of having fun, laughing, and being together. Having 3 beautiful children and supporting each other's interests had made their life full of happiness. Matthew McConaughey is becoming a real parent. When the actor went on the Today Show, he talked about his first children's book, just because, and how the story was influenced by his 3 children. But did you know that McConaughey was ready for any engagement from the beginning before Camila came along? With all the attention he was getting in Hollywood, he loved the freedom he had. Did that kind of thing come up again? That was just the beginning of what has been going on. Behind the perfect and beautiful couple in the picture, we see that Camila had to pass some tests before McConaughey's mother gave her permission to marry him. That may have been the only thing that was buried in her heart. Once more, Camila wanted to live a quiet life. The only cultural path she has is this one, her job and her own life the way she wanted them to be. Might these 2 stops line up along the way? What was the last thing Matthew McConaughey did that made Camila break up with him? Check back to find out. Here is a look at McConaughey and Camila's relationship over the years to see how things began and why this split is so shocking. To check for cracks we missed. People at first said that Matthew McConaughey's relationship with Camila Alves was one of the most beautiful in Hollywood. At first, they had an enticing natural chemistry that made it seem like they were meant to be together from the start. When the story began in 2006, McConaughey didn't expect it at all. His work on movies like Failure to Launch was almost done, and he was loving the attention that came with being famous in Hollywood. Several news stories talked about his relationships with other famous people. His interviews show that he was at a point where he didn't need a romance and was happy with the way his single life was going. While out with friends at a club on Sunset Boulevard one night, McConaughey saw a stunning woman who caught his attention right away. Camila Alves was this woman. She was from Brazil and was a model and artist. After 3 nights, we went on our first date. That night, I knew I wanted to go on another date the next night. I was eager to go on another date the following evening. For 9 years now, I've wanted to go on a date with her. She was not only a pretty cow, but also different because of how she walked. He made it clear that he wasn't looking for something important that night. But there was something about her that stopped him. Also with friends was Alves, and it wasn't long before McConaughey walked over to say hello. He didn't use a random pickup line or even his name, though. He did something different, which caught her off guard. Later, she said she didn't recognize him at first, which McConaughey thought was interesting. As long as she didn't know who he was, it was a good thing. Camila grew up in Brazil and then moved to Los Angeles when she was a teenager. She was already famous as a model and businesswoman at that point in her life. McConaughey was impressed right away by how well behaved she was and how hard she worked. That night, they talked to each other and discovered that their beliefs, interests, and points of view are similar. They started dating right away. McConaughey, who was known for living a free life, didn't plan to settle down at first. But as they got to know each other better, he started to think of Camila as someone who might become his life partner. Camila didn't want to change McConaughey, he has said in interviews. Instead, she wanted him to be his best self. This help and the fact that she was independent had a big effect on him. He has even said that Camila's challenges made him discover parts of himself that he didn't know he had. Their relationship grew naturally, and they continued to value being honest and respecting each other over making love moves. They were more than just attracted to each other on the surface, they became a partnership where they truly helped each other. Matthew and Camila got married in 2012 and have 3 children, a daughter named Vida, 2 sons named Levi and Levingston, and a daughter named Levi. As their relationship went on, McConaughey realized he was getting ready to become a dad. Having Camila in his life made him think about becoming a father, which is something he hadn't always thought about when he was a young star. The couple had their first child, a boy, in 2008. His name was Levi. This was a time of change for both of them. McConaughey loved being a dad with all his heart. He actually says it was an event that changed his life and made him realize what was most important to him. Vida was born in 2010, adding another member to their family. This time, McConaughey and Alves became closer. The birth of Vida really strengthened the couple's love for each other and their dedication to family. McConaughey didn't jump into marriage, even though he loved Camila and their kids. He saw marriage as an important commitment that would last a lifetime and wanted to be sure before making that choice. He told them that Camila did not put any pressure on him. This made him respect her even more. In fact, she has said in public that she didn't think they needed a marriage certificate to prove their connection. What if she was just being shy at first? In a friendship, who doesn't want to feel safe? But as time went on, McConaughey began to think it was the right thing to do. McConaughey asked Camila to marry him on Christmas Day in 2011. They both treasure the memory of that day. The proposal was private, emotional, and close, which was perfect for a pair who valued being real. We both agree that we don't want to go through that in our relationship if we get married. They planned their wedding quickly and picked June 2012 as the date. Their home in Austin, Texas was the perfect place for the event. It was both casual and fancy. In front of family, close friends, and their 2 children, they said their vows in a simple ceremony that showed how laid back they are. McConaughey and Alves continued to put family values first even when they were just starting to be married. Even though they were famous at the time, they stressed how important it was to give their kids a sense of stability. In 2012, their family grew even bigger when their 3rd child, Livingston, was born. McConaughey started acting in a way that shows how mature and moral he is, and he says that Alves helped him stay grounded. Then he told her that her strength, patience, and knowledge were big reasons why they were able to work together so well and build a beautiful home and marriage. McConaughey and Alves now had 3 kids, Levi, Vida, and Livingston. The couple loved and supported all of their different characters and skills. Giving them a sense of self-love, gratitude, and excitement is something they do. To be a calm and thoughtful person who loves learning and being outside. McConaughey says that Levi's interest in the world makes him think of himself. Levi likes to learn about animals and surf. He got his love of the outdoors from his father after all. McConaughey has said that he hopes Levi will have the same energy and curiosity as him, even if he doesn't become an actor like his parents. Vida is their only daughter, and she is known for being creative and having a lively personality. McConaughey and Alvarez have said that Vida is naturally creative, and that she shows her creativity through dance, art, and stories. McConaughey has talked about how blessed and happy Vida is, and how it makes their whole family feel. The whole family wants to wish Vida a happy birthday, not just Matthew. The 2 of them value and encourage her unique way of thinking and innovation. She keeps her brothers on their toes and brings life to the family as the middle child. The youngest, Livingston, came along soon after McConaughey won his Oscar. This made the couple even happier and more excited at that time, and a desire to try new things. A lot of people say that Livingston is the most daring child in the family. McConaughey and Alves have seen that Livingston's desire to be alone has only grown over time. They urge him to see the world and teach him values like respect and kindness. McConaughey and Alves have thought a lot about how to take care of their kids. McConaughey is famous, but he has always had a strong sense of privacy and avoided the life of Hollywood. For a simpler one, both parents in Texas, where the family lives, have stressed how important it is to teach their children gratitude, resilience, and humility so that they value life's simple joys over being out in public. Matthew McConaughey has said that he wants to teach his children the lessons he has learned from his life. He had big plans for the family. McConaughey and Alves have each taken different paths in their lives, but they have stayed close as a team. McConaughey's work changed in the years after they got married. He moved away from the romantic comedies he used to play and toward more complicated and dramatic parts. The popular name for this change, which began around 2012, is the McConaissance. He played great parts in movies like Dallas Buyers Club, The Wolf of Wall Street, and Mud. Then, in 2014, he won the Oscar for Best Actor. He had to put in a lot of hard work to play Ron Woodruff, a cowboy who has HIV. It even changed how he looked. It was a big step forward in his career, and this part shaped it. After winning an Oscar, McConaughey kept playing characters with many sides. His part as Rust Cole in True Detective on HBO was another big deal. He got a lot of praise for how he played the thoughtful and haunted detective in this movie. The show did well at the box office. A lot of people began to like him more and pay attention to him. This showed how versatile McConaughey is and how much he loves telling stories. His choices in work showed that he wanted to play parts that would push him and tell audiences stories that weren't filtered. He describes this as a deeply satisfying journey. In addition to playing, McConaughey has done other things. His autobiography, Green Lights, came out in 2020, which became a big hit. This book, Green Lights, has what I found. It must have been very hard to keep those records for so long. In the book you write, "The only thing I ever knew I wanted to be was a father." It also gave him a chance to think about his life and work. People all over the world loved McConaughey's memoir because it really showed his philosophy, humor, and knowledge. Green Lights wasn't just a normal autobiography, it was an honest look back at the lessons and situations he had lived. His main goal was to encourage people to find their meaning and live their lives honestly. In comments, he said that the book's popularity surprised him, and he's glad that it touched so many people. Aside from being a model, Camila Alves has also done well as a businesswoman and a charity worker. Her home life and work life were both very important to her. Alves is from Brazil, but she went to Los Angeles when she was a teenager to become a model. She finally became famous and worked with Macy's and was on the covers of magazines. Alves has always wanted to do more than just model, though. She made a difference for the better with her platform. She started the organic baby food company Yummy Spoonfuls with another mom, Agatha. The idea came from her love of healthy food and her experience as a mom. And Yummy Spoonfuls wanted to give parents choices that were both healthy and easy to use. Alves has also become involved in charitable work in addition to her business activities. She teamed up with McConaughey most of the time to help her. They started the Just Keep Livin' Foundation together. This was a non-profit group whose goal is to give high school kids more power by encouraging them to be active and make healthy choices. The foundation runs programs for exercise, health, and education, especially in areas that don't have enough of them. McConaughey and Alves really cared about the foundation because they went to a lot of events and fundraisers for it. Camila also has a strong bond with her Brazilian roots. She shows her pride in her heritage through the food she makes and the customs she teaches her children. She now has author on her list of things she has done. In 2022, she and Adam Mansbach wrote a children's book called Just Try One Bite. Camila Alves McConaughey, a former model and wellness champion, has written her first book for kids. It's right there for you. Sure, I've been reading it. It's really cool. She checks out Just Try One Bite with us live. The book tries to get kids to eat healthy by being funny and easy to relate to. She has said that the goal of the book was to help kids enjoy healthy eating and have a good relationship with food. McConaughey and Alves then had to put family time first, even though they were both very busy. On the weekends and vacations, they were together, whether they are at home, in Texas, or on the road. At that time, they both thought the same way about their family. They said that family is the most important thing to them, and they try to find a balance between work and valuable time. Both of them loved going on adventures, and they do take their kids on adventures outside. But even though this couple's life may have looked perfect on the outside, as if they had everything worked out, they were having problems in their personal lives that made them decide to stay apart. You should know that McConaughey has always liked a quiet life, so he did everything he could to keep any problems from the public. Why did this unexpected breakup happen between this Hollywood's most loved couple? Stay tuned as we talk more about it. What caused McConaughey and Camila to break up without warning? The way they treated each other in public, their strong family values, and their friendship with Camila Alves have always made it stand out. But their trip together wasn't all fun and games. What went wrong or led to the misunderstanding? Managing their cultural backgrounds, job highs and lows, and setting limits in public are just a few of the things they talk about. All of these things may have made the couple disagree with each other over time. Okay, so both McConaughey and Alves were committed from the start to teaching their children, Levi V, Vida, and Livingston, good morals. At the yearly Mac Jack and McConaughey Gala in Texas, the couple went out in public with their 3 kids for the first time in a long time. Levi is 15, Vida is 14, and Livingston is 11. They tried to keep their kids away from the bad things that came with fame and instead taught them to be thankful and humble. It was very important to McConaughey that he didn't raise his kids in the Hollywood bubble. Moving from Los Angeles to Austin in 2014 was a big step in that direction. Living in the country would give them a simple life and peace that they couldn't get in California. Do you know, though, that one partner had to give up more in order to raise children while having too public a career? Because they wanted to raise the kids alone, without anyone else getting in the way. Since they both have busy lives and are going down this job path, there is bound to be a misunderstanding. To whom will they give up something? Which person's job is more important right now? All of these things are likely to make people confused about who should put their job first. McConaughey has always been proud of the fact that he grew up in the South, while Camila wanted their home to have roots in Brazil. Their multicultural attitude and ways of doing things made their kids' lives better, but it could have caused problems or misunderstandings. We learned a lot from being parents together, but even the best plans might not be enough to fill in all the gaps. It's not like the difference in cultural values and Camila having to cancel plans just to be with the kids weren't enough. It got interesting when McConaughey's mother joined the picture. McConaughey's mother, Ma Mac, set Camila up for trouble in her own way. At first, she had trouble with her mother-in-law, who, according to Camila, put her to the test to see what she could do. When she talked to Alves, Amma Mac would use the names of McConaughey's ex-girlfriends. This makes things awkward and makes people feel bad when they meet. Sometimes it's annoying that all you want is for your partner to be happy. You spend most of your time on him, and then your mother comes in and says she wants to test you. Camila had to be patient with this, especially since McConaughey had a good relationship with his mother. This could have caused Camila to remember all of these events. As we've already said, McConaughey's career has been moving toward more serious and difficult parts. This was known as the McConaughey's. It was during this time that he won his first Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club. The 5 guys who were nominated for this award gave powerful, moving, and interesting performances. Here are the actors who are up for Best Performance by a Leading Part. But because of the fame and travel that came with these jobs, he had to be away from home. And this could have led to a mistake, even though Camila tried to be very understanding. She is actually a real person. She needed more help than just a phone call while she was giving birth and taking care of the kids. Camila felt bad about most things because she had to balance her own work with taking care of their kids. This feeling made her feel alone or like she had done something wrong, and it was hard for her to get rid of. Camila talked about these job problems in interviews by saying that they were like seasons or phases where one partner focused on work. However, even if both partners are open and honest, times when one needs to step back can make the other feel unhappy or even angry, especially if they last for years. Camila and Matthew McConaughey have always been wary of how fame might affect their children, and they make sure that the media doesn't get too close to them. But how far could they keep them safe? McConaughey's fame made it hard for him to avoid this at all costs. His kids were always in the public eye because of his fame. Because of this, Camila had to keep telling them that their identities shouldn't be linked to his fame. In particular, this was important because their oldest son, Levi, wanted to become a doctor like his dad. Camila had a hard time keeping her kids grounded because of the impact of her fame, and she also had to make sure that she and McConaughey agreed on what to do. Fame and attention from the public can really make small family fights worse. They both wanted privacy and ease of life, but living with a famous family probably turned out to be more complicated than they thought. McConaughey and Alves both tried to see fame as a result of their good work rather than a goal while they were together. But even though they had the same point of view, it was hard for them to always keep their private lives safe. McConaughey was a traditional dad who liked to be with his kids in private times instead of public ones. But it's hard to put fame aside for good. The stress of fame got worse as their kids got bigger, and it was hard to get away from it all. People look up to McConaughey and Camila and expect them to live a balanced life. That being said, the demands of fame and their own changing identities away from the public eye may have made this balance harder to find. These are real problems that famous people have to deal with. If they're not careful, they can sometimes get really heated and cause mistakes. McConaughey and Camila put family values first, even though there were a lot of outside forces on them. Their life in Texas showed that they wanted to give their kids a grounded, humble childhood that was very different from Hollywood. From the outside, it looked like they had a great family life. But the constant work, the way families work, and the cultural differences that McConaughey's mom brought into the picture may have slowly but surely led to a very major misunderstanding that became hard to fix. It's possible that the balance they worked so hard to keep took them down different paths over time. Camila's love for her Brazilian roots, her desire to be a businesswoman, and her promise to protect her children. Some people may have felt a growing distance between McConaughey's Southern values and his unwavering drive to succeed in his work. McConaughey saw fame as both a tool and a calling, and he loved most of the times he was famous. But Camila might have wanted a simple life without all the attention that came with his fame. McConaughey and Camila's story shows how hard it is to be married while being famous. Even though their jobs and the attention of the public sometimes lead to mistakes and problems, these two will continue to focus on what's most important, raising their children in a loving, respectful, and humble home. What do you think about this couple's complicated life? Type it in the space below for comments. To see more, share our video and subscribe to our channel. Also, click on the next video that comes up. It will be fun for you.